Hey, Midnight Sun here. We're continuing our leveling 1 to 18 with the Crusader here. And just like the other classes, we're going to kind of start it out almost exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over to New Tristram because it's more familiar environment. Now, I mentioned on the Barbarian over in the options here to make sure that you have some of these gameplay things ticked. So you could pause the screen right now if you want, but auto-equip items, show advanced tooltips, elective mode, and you could do your HUD however you want. That's most comfortable. And the elective mode allows you to put any of the skills on any of the locations. So you could put a utility over in the primary slot. You could put a law skill over in the secondary slot. So that's why it's useful for that. And to get started here, we would open up the Challenge Rift cache. We are in hardcore. So if we die, we die, making us a little bit careful. Now, I already opened it on the Barbarian here, and I have a little bit left over, so I'm going to try and go ahead and gamble. And what I'm going to do here is I want either bracers or I want shields. Now, the shields, they have two options here that you can get at level 1. One of them is going to synergize with the bracers and your Blessed Hammer ability, so that's going to be the one that we want the most. So I'm going to go ahead and try out for shields first, actually, and we're going to... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the bracers first, because now that I'm thinking about it, if we go over to the armor here and look at the shields... Oh, scratch that. I thought this was going to be 75. Nope, we'll stick with shields. So we're going to go ahead and go through here to see if we get lucky. And I've got 475 that I'm able to do it with. There we go. That's the one we wanted, which is the Blessed Hammer. Damage is increased by 207%. So... I think I just spent about 250. Let's actually add it up. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200. I spent 225. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that secondary challenge rift, because if we were to start a new character, we would get 475. Collect all that stuff there. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and try and get the bracers. Let's see if we get the bracers.
I've seen better. Maybe you can find a use for that someday.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think I would have a little bit more, but that's a lot spent. We'll keep some of those for the other classes. Okay, so we've got our Blessed Shield, and now it says I can equip it right now, but I don't think I'm actually able to, because I think it's got an actual level requirement of something else, and I will double check what that is, but I'm going to look through the rest of these here and see if there's anything better to equip. That's got a lot more recovery. Let's check that out here. Okay, so this one on the left here, it gives me 16 armor, 18 strength, 19 vitality, 13 life per second, and critical hit chance increased by 1%. That critical hit chance might as well not be there. That's absolutely useless. The one on the right, physical skills deal more damage, which we could probably roll into. 18 strength, so about the same. Regenerate 32 life per second, and then 14 life per hit, and we also get a little bit more experience. So this is a better bracer in every way, even though it says we're losing a little bit of damage and a little bit of toughness. Okay, so I'm going to double check what this shield is that we can have here and when we can equip it. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay. So as far as I can tell, it's required level 12 to equip, so we can't use it until level 12. Most of the items that you see here will be level 12 to equip, which makes it, what it is. And we're going to go ahead and look through here and equip something a little bit better from each of these shields. Some of these have a little bit more recovery on it, but it doesn't look like anything that's going to be as good as what I currently have on here. And now with the rest of these items, we can go ahead and scrap them. And this should give you plenty of reusable parts and everything that you would need for your character anyway. Some of these skills for the Crusader, pay attention because it says that it needs a flail or it needs a shield to use, which means you can mess up your character if you scrap something that you don't need. As always, we're going to go ahead and get the Templar. This is because he's offering some healing skills and they unlock at a lower level. And let's see here. I think we are good to go. I'm actually going to put on my pet right away this time so it can pick up some gold. It's not really useful, but I feel bad not having my pet. Okay. And we're going to make our way... Ooh, I already made a mistake here. Almost made a mistake. We got to talk to our merchant and see if he's got anything useful to equip. Right there is pretty good. We're going to equip that. I like my yellow one. Armor... Okay. And then we're going to go over to Act 3, which is where we're going anyway. And I'm going to check the vendors over here. Now, this is only possible if you open the Challenge Rift cache because you're going to get so much gold. And this is a couple Challenge Rift caches worth here, but millions and millions of gold. So keep that in mind. Even if you don't have it, I mean, if we look at the value here, it's 681 gold, 1,000 gold, 679 gold. So these aren't too expensive. They're something that you can afford if you want to, you know, get some of these items a little bit. If we look at what these sell for, I mean, this is my starter thing, so it doesn't sell for much at all. But, you know, some of these items, yellow items, sell for 250, 230-ish gold. So you can get some of these back and buy them back even if you don't have the Challenge Rift cache. It's just going to be a lot harder to do. All right. So we've got that going, and we're going to make our way over to the Ruins of Sescheron, and we're going to walk through this area here. And let me just double check one more thing. Okay. I had to make sure that I wasn't missing anything, so we're good. We're on Master difficulty, so we're going to try this out and see if the Crusader can do a little bit better than the Barbarian. The Barbarian, we had to drop down to Expert difficulty. In the process of doing that, I realized there might be one more thing I could do to keep it alive and keep it going a little bit better. So we're going to try that out with the Crusader here and see if he does any better. If not, then we're going to switch it back down to a lower difficulty. So we're going to just start out with our basic attack, and this should level you up really fast. So try and gather up as many enemies there. You can see it automatically does some damage to everything around us. There we go. So we're leveling up a little bit faster on the Crusader here. And I'm just going to double check that there's, yep. So my goal here, whenever I find a way to go left, I'm going to go left. Just sort of goblin. Oh, interesting. We got a blood shard goblin. So that's going to be incredibly useful in the beginning. I want that. Nice try. Alright, how much did that give us? Oh, the lore's in the way. Get out of the way, lore. Oh my god, go away. Okay, so we got like 100 and something, I think, blood shards from there. So if we wanted to, we could go back and try and get some of those things, but I'm just going to save it for my other characters. Now, I should have been maintaining my kill streak through here if I didn't find that goblin. That's what I would have done, but we're good here. Level 5 is when we can unlock Sweep Attack, which is going to be our main damaging skill. So I'm just going to go ahead and kill everything that's around me here and stop for a second to put in that Sweep Attack skill. Oh, let's see, where are you? Sweep Attack. And actually, scratch that. I want to put that on Shield Bash. There we go. Sweep Attack's on. We got our follower. We're going to put some more things there. We've got a couple items. We could throw one of these on our follower to give him a little bit better shield if he could equip it, but it looks like he can't. And we're just going to throw that on you, because why not? Okay. So you've got Sweep Attack, and that's going to be our primary source of damage now. And this just allows us to hit everything around us in a little bit more of a wide arcing angle. So see that there and at work. I think the exit here is going to be on the left, so I'm just going to keep moving my way to the left here. There is a chest up here. Anytime you see these, go ahead and open them up, because unless you're absolutely loaded in gear, these are going to usually drop something that's good. It gives you a little bit of gold as well. Skip all of the bounties here. The only one that you may want to do is the Barbarian bounty, and the only reason you want to do this one in particular right here is because after doing it, it will give you a Barbarian follower. So that guy will follow you and help you do some damage and take some hits. So this would be the only one that I would say maybe you should do, but I'm not really feeling it too much right now, so I'm just going to skip it. Especially since all these enemies are taking forever to die here. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and see what we got here. 25% more experience. It's pretty good. Alright, we might die here. Let's see what we got. So we're using our Blessed Shield to blind. Crusader's pretty tanky. If this was my Necromancer, I'd be 100% dead here. but then again, I would be blowing everybody up with corpse explosion. Blind everybody again. Alright, so seeing the damage that we've got here and comparing it to the Barbarian, I'm fairly certain that Master difficulty is also not going to be feasible for the Crusader. It looks like it's just going to take way too much work to get everybody down to a low enough health to actually do anything with it. We got a bit of a movement speed there. How are we looking? Alright, we got some blue elites down that way. We might have to run by them. And with the elites being the current level that we're on, they might actually do some damage to us. So I'm going to try and take some of these guys out here beforehand, just in case. Building Wrath is taking forever. Okay, they've already come towards us, so we're going to zigzag around them. Anytime I'm moving through the areas here, I'm doing my best to try not to get stuck. So we want to snake our way around and make our way down. That guy is a nightmare. Stay away from him. If you see him, just start running. He will kill you. So we're going to make our way to the next area here. Okay. So we are now level 8 and we can unlock... Let's see here. I want to double check these two skills. Yeah, this one requires a shield. So if you don't have a shield, you can't use it. But I'm going to put on that. Sweep attack unlocks a rune at level 11. So we're going to keep that in mind. Shield glares, normal. We're going to return to town here at level 8 and see if the vendors have any better items for us. So, let's see here. This is what I didn't do last time. Attack speed is alright, but not very good. Weapons... Slightly better weapon. I don't have anything that requires a flail, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on and see if the other guy's got anything. Now, usually you can take your Templar item if you don't have any things here that you can buy, but a slightly better weapon is going to do a whole bunch of help for us. All right. So now here's where we get to see if this Crusader can stick on Master difficulty or not. Let's see if it can. Alright, it's looking a little low. Not too bad though. Okay, so what I'm noticing is the sweep attack is helping out a lot here for dealing a lot of damage to enemies around us. We're doing okay damage here. This would be something for a new player. I would say let's stick on the difficulty below this, which I believe is Expert. If you're on Softcore, you could go through here as well, and it probably wouldn't be too much of an issue. But every single time you go through a new area, every item goes to your level. So when we came in here at level 8, all of the enemies in here are level 8. If you came in here at level 13, all of the enemies in here would be level 13. So that's something to keep in mind. We came in here a little bit lower than we would typically, which means the enemies in here aren't going to be too bad. And as we kill and level up, the enemies around us are going to stick to the same level. Now, that's only for enemies that are close by to us. If enemies are far away from us and we haven't snapshotted them, then they're going to stick with the same level we are. So we're doing pretty good here. We have got the massacre bonus working for us here, but so far nothing's been close to a threat, and it would just take a little bit longer to kill them. So we're looking pretty good. I would say that the Crusader could probably stick with Master difficulty, but again, if you were a little bit nervous about it, then maybe drop the difficulty a hair down to Expert. If this looks fine for you, or if you have the same kind of gear on, if you got slightly worse gear, then obviously don't do it here. Alright. What did we get there? Increased resource regeneration and cooldown. Nice. So notice I still haven't dropped my kill streak here, and the reason for that is because I don't want to run into those blue dudes. The blue versions of these green guys here are an absolute nightmare to fight. So I'm just going to try and do my best to make my way through this area here. Now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable gathering up enemies because I knew I was going to level up there. So I'm level 9, still trying to maintain this score streak here. And it looks like I need to move further down. So I'm going to see if I can drag these enemies down with me to maintain that score streak or kill streak. As long as you hit an enemy, your kill streak will reset. So these green guys in particular are going to be great for that because they're going to constantly drop those little rats on you guys. Making our way down. Okay, we're going to stop for a second here and kill a few more of these guys because I don't want to be too overwhelmed. So as long as we take out one more of those green dudes, I'm feeling confident here. You can see where that sweep attack is really coming in handy. Most of the time, every single class has 1 or 2 skills that are going to be incredibly useful for leveling. And sweep attack is our one for the Crusader here because of just the massive area damage it does. So we're maintaining our kill streak pretty good here, or massacre bonus, I guess is technically what it's called. Our health hasn't dipped really at all. So as far as I can tell, if we can keep this up to 400, we might be able to get through level 18 here. That's going to be a bit of a challenge though, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to maintain that exactly, but we'll keep trucking along. Okay, we're getting a little scary here for our health, finally dipped down. And if we get too many of those guys around us, they will freeze us as well. So we're going to take out some more of these enemies here and be just a little bit more cautious. Again, we had some help there with the kill streak season, which we wouldn't get next season. Let's see, can we maintain it? Looks like we're still doing good. And the goal is to get to 400. So far, we haven't ran into the blue dudes. We're getting really lucky with that. My necromancer runs into them all the time. Those are not the blue dudes I meant. Although these guys can still deal some damage. Oh yeah, knock me into everybody else, why don't you? Okay, and I don't want to go through that door yet because as soon as I do, I know I'm going to run into some more enemies, and I've already got quite a lot on me here. So I want to take care of what I've got here first. So we're going to use a shield glare here to stun everybody. And there's the blue dudes that I did not want to hit me whatsoever. Now we're going to get through this big area here. And we're going to be very, very, very cautious here. Because those guys should be able to kill me. And in fact, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and drop this score streak here. While these guys are all around me. There we go. Now, since these guys were near me when I dropped it, you see that my my level went up to 15 and those guys stayed at level 9. So we had no problem taking them out. And we got a little bit more of a boost there. So level 16 getting through here. And we've got our guy now. So this would be our cube. And we're going to go ahead and return to town and switch through some of our skills. So, first things first, we're going to run over here and go to, where are you? This guy. And see what he's got to buy. Doesn't look like anything useful. How about you? Okay, same stuff. All right. Oh, I know why that happened last time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put on a couple more of these. And then we're going to make sure our sweep attack has on blazing sweep, which is going to help us out. Punish. We're going to switch to smite. And we're going to do shatter. This is going to help us for maintaining our kill streaks. We see here smite enemies up to 30 yards away with holy chains that deal 175% damage as holy. The chains break off and strike up to 3 additional enemies within 20 yards for 150% weapon damage as holy. The holy chains explode, dealing 60% weapon damage as holy to enemies within 3 yards. So this helps us out for maintaining a good distance. Shield glare is great. We're going to keep that on here. Provoke is also pretty useful, but we're going to switch it to steed charge. But after doing that, we're going to actually put steed charge on our third number here, just because I like it more for moving through the areas. And we want one of these laws on us as well, which is going to grant us some more attack speed. So we're going to put that on. Next, we have our level 10 ability. The first two we'd unlock is while wielding a one-handed weapon, your attack speed is increased by 15%. All cooldowns are reduced. So this is something you have to check to see what you're wearing. Are you wearing a one-handed weapon or not? And then you could wield a two-handed weapon in your main hand while bearing a shield in your offhand. This is tremendous for damage, and this is what I would recommend most people choose right away because it's going to allow you to have all that damage with the bonus of the shield. We also have increased life regeneration, and your primary skills generate 3 wraths. So this is going to help out for wrath regeneration. I am going to go ahead and do that one that I recommended there, just because having a nice two-handed weapon over here is just going to boost the damage significantly. And we're going to see if we can get a two-handed weapon here in a second. And the way we're going to do that is leaving the game and joining back in. So let's let it load here. And we're going to go to Act 3. Now what happened here is as we left the game and joined back in, these vendors should refresh and give you higher level equipment based on your level. So we have an option here. Let's see what we got. There's our two-handed. We see we got 14 damage compared to 23 damage. So we're going to take that and put that on. And nothing else here is going to be useful for us. Let's see. Those are much better boots. So we're going to take that, put that on. Much better there. What else do we got here? That's all right. It's all right. That's way better. We're going to take that, put that on. Okay, and that's really good too. Take that and put that on. We got a helm, which we don't have yet. So we're going to put that on. And over here in our trinkets, we can finally get some amulets and rings. So I'm going to go ahead and get more strength, and I'm just going to get both of those rings. So a lot of people don't know that you can use those vendors. Really, they're only useful in the very beginning of the game. If you are going through the area to get the cube there, every time you close out of the game, that's going to make it so you can't continue where you left off. So I would only do that after getting the cube. So that's a little bit of a downer, but if you go through the cube fast enough, you can stay pretty low level, take advantage of that, and level up to 18. So our goal here is to get to 18, and in order to do that, we're going to go to the Temple of the Firstborn, Act 2. And Smite is going to be our main go-to here with Sweep Attack. So you can see here that Smite is going to allow all of these enemies to stick with us, hit them with a couple Sweep Attacks, and then there we go. So here you don't actually have to stay on Master difficulty. If you wanted to, you could drop down to a little bit of a lower difficulty just to stay safer here to get to level 18. There's no particular reason why you have to be super fast through here, so take it easy if this is a little bit of a challenge for you. I've got quite a lot of gear on me here that I'm feeling pretty confident about, so I'm going to stick on level 18 just to make this process a little bit faster. Never ever go in those portals unless you've got some good gear and you're on a low level. So if I was on normal level, I might go through that portal because my gear here is fine with Master difficulty. So like in general, I would say if you can do Master difficulty and kill everything in 2 hits, then you can go through a portal on normal difficulty. If you could do Torment 1 difficulty in a few hits, then you could maybe go through there on Master difficulty. So 2 levels below is what I would stick with. And now we got Smite, we can kind of drag these enemies and hit them behind us as we move forward. So Smite is going to be an absolutely amazing skill for maintaining this stuff here. Okay, level 17. Once I get to about 200 or so, I might try dropping the score streak if I can. Come on, give me an enemy. Oh, man. All right. Well, we're level 18, which is where we wanted to be. We're going to go ahead and return to town now. Okay, now that we're safely in town, we can go ahead and leave game. And we could switch the difficulty down to normal. So the reason we're doing this is we're going to be trying to kill the Rift Guardians. and get 2 diamonds from the Rift Guardians. Once you hit level 18, that's when the diamonds will drop in the game and allows you to target farm the Rift Guardians. Please make sure you change the difficulty to normal. Don't, stick around in Master. You won't be able to kill them at all. We've got Magda here, and we've got the Skeleton King. So both of these are going to be perfect options for running through here. Now, Magda and the Skeleton King in particular on the Necromancer allow you to use Corpse Explosion from all the ads that they have. So I like the Skeleton King for any of the classes, really. It's kind of a nice and easy one to go to. And they're both relatively close. But obviously, Zoltan Cool is going to be the fastest one. So if you feel confident in your damage and you know you can kill him, then go ahead and stick with Zoltan Cool as kind of your primary source here. So now that we're on normal difficulty, all these enemies should be no problem to kill. So I'm just going to rush through them all. I'm going to try and not level up. You see here that I'm pretty close to reaching the next level. Oh, we got a goblin. Well, we're going to need to at least get that goblin. Where is he at?
Not yet.
There he is. Alright, so we might level up here because of this goblin. Alright, good. So you just dropped a ruby, an emerald, and a diamond. So this would be absolutely great if you dropped 2 diamonds and you don't need to go here and do the Rift Guardian whatsoever. Especially if you find a goblin that has, all the gems that he drops anyway. So now we would need 1 more diamond to drop, but typically 2 if we don't get the goblin there. So we're going to start this out. Before going in here, I would usually double check my skills, but I'm pretty confident that what we got here working just fine. Gambling, I could have put on the shield that I got in the beginning because I'm now level 16, so it would be no problem to equip the shield, and I could use Blessed Hammer, which would have been, alright, but I'm already doing pretty good here, and I'm going to save that in case I want to extract it. So we'll look at that for the level 18 to 70. So far, the Skeleton King isn't posing a threat whatsoever. He's going to spawn these ads in, so I'm just going to make sure I'm using my flail, my sweep attack, when all of the enemies are around us. And we're going to be able to take him out the rest of the way. Now, even if he doesn't drop the 2 diamonds that I need, I do have that already unlocked on the altar. So, and if I didn't mention it at the beginning, you would go through the altar to maintain your massacre bonuses by clicking the first thing on the altar as well. But we're going to go ahead and take him out the rest of the way here. And so far, he hasn't even got me to the red. If I do get towards the red, my Templar would heal me up. And so I don't think you have to worry about dying too much in here, especially on normal difficulty. It's just going to take a little bit to take him out the rest of the way, because the Crusader does pretty good with multi-ranged attacks, but not very much single target here. Alright, a couple more hits. There we go. Alright, so we got him taken out. Let's see if we get some diamonds. We got 1 diamond. Yeah, a couple topaz and everything else. So with that other diamond, we would get what we needed for the altar to unlock the items have no level requirements. So that was level 1 to 18 with the Crusader. You can do this one on Master difficulty. Barbarian, I would stick to Expert difficulty so far. But again, if it's looking a little tough, drop the difficulty down a bit. You only have to get to 18, so moving it down once is going to save you, maybe 20 minutes of gameplay. But if you're killing the enemies faster on a lower level difficulty, then you should be able to maintain about the same. So don't worry about it too much. And after doing it 1 to 18 here, I'm going to continue through and we'll do an 18 to 70 guide for the Crusader. I will link that at the end of this video. If you guys want to, you can join my Discord. If you have any leveling up tips and tricks that you want to know from me here, you can put it on there. If you got an item that you unlocked, and let's say, for example, you unlock a legendary bracer or a legendary shield, and you say, hey, is this worth it to equip? We can look at your skills. So for example, here we've got the Blessed Hammer damage is increased by 270% for the first to 3 enemies it hits. This would have been something that I could have equipped at level 11. And I thought, you know what? I actually don't need to do that because I like my skills and I'm not using Blessed Hammer. And it wasn't as much of a boost that I would like. If I got the bracers to go along with it, then absolutely we would switch our whole build over for Blessed Hammer and we would run through with that. So that was the guide here, and I hope you guys had a good time. I hope this helped, and we'll continue through with the next classes. And I can't remember which one's next. It might be the Demon Hunter or the Monk, but I'll continue to link those as well. So if you're interested in any of the classes, we can practice them before the season starts. You can do a level 1 to 18 guide here in the next week or two before the season begins and see which one feels the most comfortable for you, as well as the 18 to 70 so you can figure out what you want to play. But thank you guys for watching and have a good one. Bye.